Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Yevamot page 70, which opens the new chapter that says that someone who is an Orel, namely did not have the ritual circumcision, even though he's a Kohen, is not allowed to eat Truma. Now this even means that he has had brothers that have had this circumcision performed, and tragically they died. And because of this pattern, it was self-understood that there's no way this person should actually go through having a bris, because it would certainly cause him to die. And the Torah would not require this individual to have a Brit Milah, because obviously we want a person to live and to be able to function and not die by doing a mitzvah, but rather to live by them. Even so, the reality stands, and such an individual is not allowed to eat this special food. Even though he's a Kohen, he may not eat Truma. Now, this also applies on Passover. In the times of the temple, there was a special sacrifice known as the Karban Pesach, the Passover sacrifice. Now, in order for a man to be able to fulfill this obligation of eating this sacrifice, also it's necessary that that person is circumcised. But over here we find something very fascinating. Even though, let's say, the father of the house has done his ritual circumcision himself, and therefore he is, so to speak, kosher to be able to eat from this Passover sacrifice, we also look at his entire household. And if, let's say, he has a son who, for whatever reason, he decided he was not going to do a Brit Milah, a circumcision for his child. On this, the Talmud teaches us through verses that not only can this child not eat from the Passover sacrifice, but the father cannot either. Interesting. Even though the father is righteous, the father did everything right, but still, as soon as we see that his traditions have not been passed over to his child, and his child did not have the ritual circumcision, we say that there is also a flaw in the father, and therefore the father also is not allowed to partake of the sacrifices, which I think is a very important lesson, that when it comes to ritual observance, a person is practicing, but sometimes they'll allow their child to do whatever they want. This is clearly not what the Torah prescribes. The Torah wants us, of course, to be ethical and to fulfill all of God's commandments, but it's not enough that I do it. I need to make sure that my children, when I continue this tradition, it should be passed down to them. And a person who only does the mitzvot himself, but ignores the commandments or bettering his children by also teaching them the beauty and the value, that person is also lacking.